What's up, guys? It's Dustin. Welcome back to the channel. As always, thanks for hanging out with me. We got some news about a new set coming out in the OCG called Battle of Chaos. I didn't see a release date for it, so it's probably going to be a little bit before they get it. It's going to be even longer before we get it. With all of our set delays, there's no telling when we'll get these cards. But there's some really interesting Dark Magician support in this, and I'm not usually one for Dark Magician support, but these cards are pretty good, and I thought I'd talk about them. One in particular is very, very good and has caught my attention. The first card I want to talk about is Dimension Controller. It's a new Dark Spellcaster level 1. It has 500 attack and 500 defense. And you can only use each effect of it once per turn. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add one magical dimension from your deck to your hand. Also, if this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard, you can draw cards equal to the number of spellcaster monsters that you control, and then put the same number of cards from your hand to the top of your deck. Right off the bat, the reason this card is so good, for one thing, it's +1. Search your deck for magical dimension. You're searching your deck for a quick play spell that has monster destruction as well as a special summon effect. It's actually a great card for this. You target a monster you control, you tribute it, and then you can special summon a spellcaster from your hand, and you can destroy a monster on the field. So you tribute Dimension Controller, special summon another spellcaster from your hand, and then you can destroy a monster on the field. It's really good removal. That is non-targeting removal, by the way. It still destroys, so that's fine, but it's non-targeting. And then, since you tributed Dimension Controller, you then get to trigger his effect, and you will be drawing at least one card since you are going to control a spellcaster monster after you resolve Magical Dimension. Also really great if you're linking off. Let's say you have something like Magician Souls and this guy, and you link him off into another spellcaster, you can draw 2 cards. It's really a versatile card, and it gets rid of Garnets out of your hand. It also puts Dark Magician cards on top of your deck. If you're playing like a dedicated Dark Magician build, you're putting Dark Magician cards on top of your deck so that you can use something like Dark Magic Circle to automatically get it back. It's good stuff. I really like this card. The card is amazing design. I like to see them giving old cards support, and Magical Dimension is a great card, and now it's very good because of this card. The next card I want to talk about is Coalition Dragon Timaeus. It is a light dragon level 8 monster with 2800 attack and 1800 defense. And you can only use each of the following effects once per turn. You can send one spellcaster monster or one spell or trap that includes Dark Magician and its card text from your hand or field to the graveyard to special summon it. During the main phase, you can fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion materials that include a spellcaster as one of the materials. So I'm not sure how this is exactly going to work. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to use monsters with that just say spellcaster type monster in the materials, or if you're going to be able to use monsters that are specifically listed in the materials, like Dark Magician, you know it's a spellcaster, Dark Magician Girl, etc., etc. I don't know how it's going to work. One that I can think of is Gravekeeper's Naturalist. I know it's probably not going to come up, but I feel like somebody's going to ask. Its fusion materials are 2 Gravekeeper's monsters. Now, as long as all Gravekeeper's monsters are spellcasters, are you going to be able to use Timaeus to fuse for that if it comes up? Like I said, I doubt it will come up, but it's a question I would like to know the answer to, because it's kind of vague. It just says spellcaster type materials. It doesn't say fusion summon a spellcaster type monster. So any of the like Dark Magician Girl, Dragon Knight cards that are dragons instead of spellcasters should still be viable. I just don't know how this card specifically, Timaeus, is going to work. And also, it's very easy to summon, especially in a dedicated Dark Magician build. Sending something like Soul Servant would be insane, because you can just pop out a free level 8 monster onto the board, and then Soul Servant lets you just draw a ton of cards in a dedicated Dark Magician build. So there's going to be some good stuff there. The next card I want to talk about pays homage to one of our favorite little adorable little friends from the past, Karibo. Yeah, Magikari. Dark Fiend level 1, 300 attack, 200 defense, just like Karibo. During the main phase or the battle phase, if you received damage by a battle or by an opponent's card effect, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard to special summon a Dark Magician or a Dark Magician Girl from your deck or graveyard. If a face-up spellcaster type monster you control is destroyed by battle or by an opponent's card effect, you can add Magikari from your graveyard to your hand. This card is so ridiculous. If you have Dark Magic Circle up, you can let your opponent do damage to you, and then you can send the Magikari at any time after that damage. So even in the main phase 2, they set a card, you can discard Magikari and grab Dark Magician and just banish that card. After you just punish them for setting in main phase 2. Or you can of course get rid of problem cards that exist on the field that can't be destroyed or something like that. I just think this application is very amazing, and I can't wait to see what people do with this. I might actually start building Dark Magicians. I actually really love this support. And when they do kill your spellcaster monster by battle or by card effect, you can just add it back to your hand, so that way you have it again for next turn. And you can just keep the advantage going. You just discard it, special summon. Of course, they'll be more likely to be careful with the damage, but if they're not damaging you, what are they doing? So it's likely you'll be able to use it again. But I really like the interaction with Dark Magic Circle with this card. It's nuts. The next one I want to talk about is a new fusion monster, and to be honest with you, if it weren't so good, I would have overlooked it, because I tend to overlook fusion monsters. Super Magical Warrior, Master of Chaos. It's a level 8 Dark Spellcaster fusion. 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense, same stats as Dragoon. It takes a Dark Magician plus a Chaos or Blackluster Soldier ritual monster. Now, besides the ritual monsters that have Chaos in their name that already exist, there's a new one coming out that I'll get to in a second, because I've saved the best card for last. If this card is fusion summoned, you can target a light or dark monster in your graveyard and special summon it. And now that's not just a spellcaster, it's any light or dark monster. So this is already pretty generic. Also, you can tribute a light and a dark monster you control to banish all monsters your opponent controls. That's ridiculous, especially since on fusion summon you can get back a light monster, you automatically have the light and the dark right there, you can just wipe their board. And if that wasn't good enough, if this fusion summon card is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can target a spell card in your graveyard and add it to your hand. It doesn't have to be opponent's card effect. According to this text that we've received, it doesn't have to be an opponent's card effect. So if you destroy it with your own card effect, you can just get a spell card back. Now, in Dark Magicians, there's a lot of good Dark Magician support spell cards, and there's also a lot of good generic spell cards that you can just get back with this card. It's kind of ridiculous, and I'm really looking forward to see this. Like I said, I tend to overlook fusion monsters, but this one is really good. Unfortunately, well, maybe not unfortunately, but it's kind of balanced. It's a good thing that you can't use his second effect to tribute himself to banish all your opponent's cards and then get a spell card back. That would be insanely overpowered. But no, still being able to destroy it by either player's card effects, just get a spell card back. It's really good. And last, but certainly not least, my favorite card that was revealed so far out of these 5 cards. Illusion of Chaos. It is a Dark Spellcaster Ritual, level 7, 2,100 attack, 2,500 defense, so it's got opposite attack and defense than Dark Magician. You can ritual summon this card with Chaos form. You can reveal this card from your hand to add a Dark Magician or a monster that specifically lists Dark Magician in its card text, except a ritual monster, from your deck to your hand, and then you can place a card from your hand to the top of your deck. And its on-field effect is when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can return it to your hand to special summon a Dark Magician from your graveyard and negate that monster's effect. I want to break this card down because this is my favorite card out of all of these cards that have been revealed. This one is insane. So if you're not familiar with a little card called Magician Souls, this card is a level 7 spellcaster that you can reveal from your hand to search for Magician Souls because it has Dark Magician in its card text, and then you can place a card from your hand to the top of your deck. So you can put this exact card, this ritual monster, into your deck. You now have a live spellcaster in your deck that you can send off for Magician Souls to special summon it. Or if you play multiple copies of it, you can search for souls, and then you can discard another copy of it that's already in your deck, and you can leave the ritual in your hand for next turn in case you need another Magician Souls. And then you can put him back so he's still live. There's multiple ways to go about this. This is a level 7 ritual monster. It is searchable by preparation of rites. So effectively, you can have 9 copies of Magician Souls in your deck. Now, this is assuming Magician Souls is that important in your strategy. If you're playing a dedicated Dark Magician build, Magician Souls is very good. Now, there's other decks that can use Magician Souls, like Eldritch, that can send spell and traps to the graveyard to get benefit off of them. But you can basically build your deck in a way that you can always have Magician Souls. The other thing you can do with this is if you drew a garnet that you don't want in your hand, you can search for Magician Souls, or I should be fair and say any Dark Magician card if you're playing Dark Magician. I just happen to really like Magician Souls as a card. But you can search for whatever you need, and you can put that garnet back in your deck. Obviously, as I said, that it can include this exact ritual monster so that you can summon Magician Souls. But any garnet you may play, if it's something like a barrier statue or like an artifact scythe or a double or nothing, any of these cards that need to remain in your deck until you access them, you can put that back on top of your deck. Now, you can also put Dark Magician cards on top of your deck with this so that you can use, again, Dark Magical Circle to get a card off of it. It's very versatile. The first effect alone is very versatile. The second effect is also ridiculous, especially in a dedicated Dark Magician build, which is actually probably the only time you're going to use this, but let me break this down for you. If he's on the field, you've already ritual summoned him with Chaos Form. As long as you didn't banish the Dark Magician from your graveyard to activate Chaos Form, but instead you sent it from your hand to the graveyard to ritual summon it, or if you just happen to have a Dark Magician in there by other means, it doesn't really matter. But you can bounce him back to your hand to negate an opponent's monster effect that's activated anywhere. It doesn't matter if it's field, hand, graveyard, anything like that. You get to special summon Dark Magician to negate it. If you have Dark Magical Circle, you're not only negating an effect, you're also banishing a card your opponent has, because Dark Magical Circle doesn't miss timing, it's an if effect. But then you also have this card back in your hand after you've ritual summoned it to use it again to start searching for cards. This card is absolutely ridiculous. I love it. I love the design of it. I am so excited to see what happens with this support. This card in particular is my favorite by far out of all of these cards. But I can't wait to see what people come up with these cards. I'm gonna start building Dark Magician on Dueling Book and testing it, because these cards are pushing, in my opinion, these cards push Dark Magician to competitive status. Of course, here in the TCG, it's going to be a while before we get them, but it's going to do amazing things. It's going to push Dark Magician to levels we've never seen before. So yeah, that's going to wrap it up. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of these cards. If there's any ideas that you thought of that I didn't mention in this video. I am not a Dark Magician player right now, so there's probably a lot of things that I missed. I would love to hear from you, your ideas, if you are familiar with the Dark Magician playstyle. I want to know what combos you guys have seen that I haven't seen yet, because I want you guys to blow my mind with these cards. These cards have already blown my mind. Blow my mind more. I want to know what else we can do with these cards, because they are crazy. I am super excited to see what this does. Be sure to like the video, share the channel, subscribe, get the bell on, all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys' support. We recently hit the 250 subscriber mark, and I want to keep that going so I can do some more giveaways. I'm giving away a box of Blazing Vortex. So yeah, thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you next time.